Hi guys, welcome. In this video, I'll be sharing the stock analysis for Broadcom and answer these three questions. Is Broadcom worth investing in? Is it a buy or a sell at the current price? And whether Broadcom is trending up or down from the technical charts. Broadcom is in the hot 5G market space. They produce chipsets and processors that enable Wi-Fi routers and mobile phones to make use of 5G networks and connectivity. And they also have enterprise software solutions and other products in their offering. As you know, 5G is a hot space right now, and I'm really interested to find out if Broadcom is worth investing in. With that, let's dive right into the financials. I'll be using the quarterly reports in this video. The revenue has been on the rise since Q1 of 2020 from $4.6 billion to $6.6 billion in the most recent quarter. Interestingly, the cost of revenue has not risen so sharply. There is only a marginal increase from $2.6 billion in Q1 of 2020 to $2.7 billion in the most recent quarter. The gross profit has grown by around 18% from $3.3 billion to $3.9 billion for the most recent quarter. The gross margin is very strong and is sitting at 59%. The high level of margin is a testament to the hot 5G market space, as all the 5G players are exhibiting similar levels of margins. But it is worth noting that Broadcom's gross margins has dropped from 70% in Q1 of 2020 and has been fluctuating between 48% and 59% for the most recent quarters. Broadcom has been a profitable company and has been producing a consistent operating income. The recent jump in revenue has bumped up the operating income from $714 million in Q1 of 2020 to $1.8 billion. The net income, after catering for other income and expenses, has also risen sharply and is looking good at $1.3 billion. The net margin is at a very healthy 19% for the most recent quarter and has been rising sharply. But among all the other 5G stocks that I covered recently, Broadcom has one of the lowest margins. Skyworks Solutions has a margin of 33%, Qualcomm is at 29%, Qorvo is the only other lowest one at 18%. Interestingly, R&D investment has been on the way down, though just marginally. This is against the trend among the other 5G stocks which are continuing to invest heavily in R&D. Sales and marketing investment has also been on the way down and has dropped from $600 million in Q1 of 2020 to $339 million in the recent quarter. So the revenue has been rising while the total operating expenses have been going down. This appears to be a good sign and would be good for Broadcom if they can continue to grow their revenue with lower operating expenses. The earnings per share for this quarter is at $3.05. This is again another big jump from the Q1 of 2020. The trailing earnings per share of the last 4 quarters is $5.59. The trailing earnings per share is a proxy for the yearly earnings per share. Broadcom has good positive cash flow from operations and has been holding steady at around $3.1 billion. There was a cash outflow of $10 billion in investing activities in Q1 of 2020. This was for a purchase of Symantec's enterprise business. There is also big cash inflow and outflow in financing activities. This is mainly due to long-term debt issuance and repayment, as well as dividend payout. Broadcom's cash position has improved from $5 billion in Q1 of 2020 to $9.5 billion in the most recent quarter. The increase in cash holdings is evident in the quick ratio that is sitting at 1.4. Minimally, a quick ratio of 1 is preferred. The quick ratio measures the ability of the company to service its short-term financial obligations that need to be serviced within the next 12 months. There should be no problem for Broadcom to service its short-term obligations. Overall, Broadcom's balance sheet has improved since 2019, but it has been declining for the past few quarters. The total assets have improved from $50 billion in Q1 of 2019 to $77 billion in the most recent quarter. The total liabilities have also increased from $23 billion to $53 billion during this time. Broadcom is sitting on long-term debt of about $42 billion. They have been reducing this in the recent quarters, but overall the debt position is not looking good for Broadcom. It has grown from $17 billion in Q1 of 2019 to the current $42 billion. The book value per share is at $58.82 currently. The book value measures the net asset value, which is total assets minus the total liabilities on a per share basis. At the current price of $4.51, Broadcom is trading at a multiple of 7.7 times price to book. Now let's look at the technical analysis. Broadcom's price has been rising steadily since 2014 and has accelerated sharply from $160 in the big drop of 2020 to almost $500. It has since pulled back to the current $451. The entire price acceleration from $160 in 2020 can be encapsulated in the blue trend channel on the daily chart. The recent price drop was supported by the trend channel, although the price drop was strong with increasing volume. The MACD did not reach oversold regions yet but has gone to the negative side. The price is now doing a backtest of the previous long-term trend channel. If it is not able to recapture the trend line, more downside is likely. The next support zone is at 390. So is Broadcom worth investing in? It is certainly profitable, but it has a weak balance sheet due to its heavy debt levels. The profits are on the rise on the back of a strong 5G industry, but the high debt levels are likely to cap its profitability. To give an idea, just look at this chart. The interest income was higher than the net income in Q1 of 2020. The net income was $311 million, whereas the interest expense was $406 million. And for the most recent quarter, the interest expense is about 47% of the net income of $1.3 billion. Is it worth it at current prices? The valuation of 7.7 price to book is enticing, but the PE of almost 81 is on the high side. Technically, the price has risen sharply and a bigger pullback is likely. In my view, the only thing that is going great for Broadcom is the 5G market space. They are likely to profit from the 5G upgrades, but there are other much better 5G stocks. Speaking of which, I'll be doing a video comparing the 5G stocks such as Qualcomm, Skyworks Solutions, Qorvo and Broadcom side by side next. It is going to be a very interesting video and I'm looking forward to learning insights from that comparison. Do subscribe to my channel if you have found this sharing useful and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and I'll see you soon in that video. Meantime, do check out my other 5G stock analysis videos in the description box below, and I'll leave you with this chart to ponder whether is it worth it to invest in Broadcom.